of some truly remarkable individuals. Tonight, we recognize not only just athletic talent, but years of dedication, sportsmanship, and the profound influence our inductees have had on their teams, this institution, and their greater communities. As we welcome the class of 2025 into the Hall of Fame, I'd like to first take a moment and extend a very heartfelt thanks to two of the Spider Athletics' greatest champions, our president, Kevin Halleck, who joined us during the cocktail hour, and our athletic director, John Hart. Thank you both for your continued support of Spider Athletics and, of course, continuing to make this such a great signature event for everybody. It's also worth noting this evening would not be possible without the tireless efforts of many individuals behind the scenes. So I'd like to give a very sincere thank you to the Hall of Fame committee, our catering team who's serving us this evening, event services that helped flip this room over. This space is normally used this weekend to bring in a whole group of influential high schoolers as they decide where they want to take their next journey for college. And so they flipped this room rather quickly, and we'll have to do it again after we leave tonight. So thank you so much for all of that. Of course, my team in the Spider Athletic Fund, yes. And everybody else who helped make this night special. As we gear up for this evening, we'd like to invite you to, of course, relax and enjoy tonight's celebration. We'd just like to kindly ask that you all go ahead and silence your cell phones and, of course, hold applause until all of the individuals have been fully introduced. And I promise you'll know, because Bob is so good at being our MC at all of these really great events. Now, to guide us through tonight's program, it's my pleasure to introduce our MC for the evening, the voice of the Spiders. Bob Black is a longtime supporter, a passionate ambassador for Spider Athletics, and a really, truly dedicated member of our community. So please welcome Bob to the stage.
Thank you, Catherine. And let me add one more thank you to Catherine's list. Several people tonight, I must have been just standing here looking official or something, and they said, "Are you in charge?" And I went, no, Catherine, she's in charge. So please join me in thanking her. Many of you, yes, know that she was just recently promoted to Associate Athletic Director for Development for our Spider Athletic Fund, so she has been juggling an awful lot, and yet she has remained very much in charge of this event, and it's why it's running so smoothly. And hopefully we'll continue for the next bit of time here as we induct our Hall of Fame class. So Catherine, great job for you and for your team, as you mentioned. This is our 48th Hall of Fame ceremony, but it is our first here at the Quealy Center. This is the first time that we have been in here, so you're all a part of something new and something special, and as you will hear in just a couple of moments, there's a little bit of a theme to firsts around this event and around this weekend. Let me give you a couple of housekeeping items, and then we'll get into the official part of the ceremony. First of all, I am going to backpedal on one of Catherine's directives regarding cell phones for just a moment. We are live video streaming. It is going out on the internet. And if there are family or friends that you would like to very quickly text and let them know they can watch you right now and watch the induction ceremony, now would be the time to do it. There is a link on our website at richmondspiders.com, and you can just search Richmond Spiders YouTube page and it'll pop up and they can watch along with us. And to the inductees, I'll warn you, we are live video streaming, so when you start telling those stories and embellishing those stories, you never know who might be out there listening and watching. So you have a minute to go ahead and do that. Secondly, we will honor this class at halftime of the football game at Robins Stadium tomorrow afternoon that starts at 2 o'clock. It is a Red Out Robins game, so we certainly encourage everyone who's attending, please wear your best red outfit to the game tomorrow afternoon for actually our first ever Patriot League home game, our first ever Patriot League homecoming, And of course, we have our sights set on it being our first ever Patriot League homecoming victory tomorrow afternoon as well. So there you go. There's a lot of firsts that we're all experiencing this weekend. But I would like to officially start our program tonight with something much more traditional, something that we do year after year to get the event going. And that's to actually look to the people who came before the class that we are about to induct. And that's the members who are already inducted into the University of Richmond Athletics Hall of Fame. We have many of them with us here tonight. I would ask them to please stand, and let's recognize and honor Hall of Famers for the University of Richmond. That is a really good group, and very proud of all of you and appreciate you coming back to be a part of tonight's ceremony and welcome some new members to your club. All right, so the class of 2025 spans more than 50 years of Spider athletics on the court, in the pool, on the field. So now it is time to bring them full circle and induct them into the University of Richmond Athletics Hall of Fame, as I will ask you to do several times during the course of the evening. Let's take a look at the video screens to our left and right, and we will introduce to you our first member of the class of 2025.
It didn't take long for Lesia Bialik-Schinnerer to make her impact on Richmond women's tennis as a standout singles player and as part of a nationally acclaimed doubles team. She reached the singles finals of the CAA tournament as a freshman and again as a junior, and earned all CAA singles honors as a senior. She won 50 career singles matches and shared Richmond's Senior Female Athlete of the Year award with Bridget Merrick. The Bialik and Merrick doubles team was ranked as high as 9th nationally. They won the Rolex East Regional Championship with a stunning victory over the 13th ranked doubles team from William & Mary, qualifying them as one of just 16 teams for the Rolex National Indoor Tennis Championship, where they reached the quarterfinals. Lesia and Bridget were named All-CAA First Team and qualified for the NCAA Doubles National Championship. The duo won 66 career doubles matches. From women's tennis, Hall of Fame inductee, Lesia Bialik-Schinnerer.
Good evening, everyone. It is such an incredible honor to be standing here in front of all of you and being inducted in the University of Richmond Athletics Hall of Fame. I would like to thank the athletic department and the selection committee for going back into what my children call the prehistoric days and select me into this selective group of people. I would like to thank Athletic Director John Hart and the University President Kevin Halleck for being here this evening, and to everyone behind the scenes who made this beautiful event possible. Thank you. I also would like to congratulate all the inductees who are being recognized tonight for their amazing accomplishments. It's a privilege to be recognized among such great athletes and coaches who left mark on the University of Richmond. As for me personally, I'm sharing this honor with my teammates and coaches, my doubles partner, Bridget Merrick, our late coach, Mark Westling, and our teammates who travel from all over the country to be here tonight. Thank you. Born and raised in Ukraine, a country fighting for its very own existence today, I often travel throughout Europe to tennis tournaments, but it was always a dream of mine to come to the United States. Because of Cold War, travel to the West was prohibited. However, in 1991, my dream became to gain a glimpse of hope. After Soviet Union collapsed and Ukraine gained its independence, my parents used all of their savings because of the country's skyrocketing inflation and bought me a ticket to the United States. Brave, but also very naive, I was on my way to the United States in 1993. Not speaking a word of English, I was told that it would be helpful if I attended a boarding school, and I ended up at the Petty School in New Jersey. That's when I received a phone call from University of Richmond head coach Mark Wessling. He invited me on a recruiting trip, and the rest was history. When I think back to my years at Richmond, I can honestly say they were some of the best years of my life. Those years were filled with busy schedules, grueling practices, early morning conditioning, that some of them might have overslept, Bridget. We pushed each other to be better every single day, and we always had fun doing it together. I'm thankful to our late coach, Mark Wessling, for being the best recruiter, an amazing coach, for bringing all of us together to a Spider family. Mark was a quiet leader who led by example. He was a private man, very patient, honest, calm, and somehow managed to let us all be ourselves, which wasn't exactly easy. He didn't have to raise his voice to push us. He patiently watched our long 3-set matches that could make a normal person turn gray very quickly. His inspirational speeches before matches showed his unique sense of humor, and he helped us relax and play better. Mark knew everything about us. From our long van rides, he was our DJ, our coach, our relationship therapist, our biggest cheerleader, and our quiet leader who held it all together. Mark taught us to live each day without regrets. We miss you, Mark. I would also like to thank our volunteer coach, Tom Wozanalik. My freshman year, Tom didn't have to be there. He chose to give his time and his tennis knowledge purely out of love for his game. Looking back, he taught me the importance of giving back and sharing what you learned with others. Thank you, Tom. And then came Julie Kazmarek. She was our assistant coach junior and senior year. Julie joined us from our biggest rival, William and Mary. And let's just say we weren't exactly excited about that. Her Go Tribe license plate did not help her case either. From the very first practice, however, that didn't let Julie stop her. From the very first practice, she brought energy, positive, funny, and always encouraging. She pushed us in the right ways and made us believe in what we could accomplish. By the time Bridget and I were seniors, with Mark's and Julie's expertise, we beat William and Mary twice that year and did break into the top 10 in the country, which we never dreamt of first when we started playing together as freshmen. I'll always be grateful for Julie's mentorship, her positive spirit, and her contagious laugh that fills the room when she's present. To my teammates, I could stand here all night and share stories, and few that probably shouldn't be repeated in public. From the endless van rides to and from matches, to the inside jokes, to everything, little moments in between, those memories are what made our bond so special. We were more than teammates, we were family. You challenged me, you supported me, and you made me every single day on and off the court an adventure. Lindsay, you are our academic weapon who knew how to get things done on the court and in the classroom in a timely manner. Amy, I don't even know where to begin. You could play the longest matches possible and drive your opponents crazy because you could have run them all and you never made a mistake. Your storytelling skills are second to none, and you still make us laugh every day. Wesley, you quickly became a perfect role model to all of us. You never broke the rules. You never had to break the rules to have a good time. Beautiful, responsible, funny, you quickly became our favorite youngest Spider. And Bridget, my doubles partner for 4 years. You've been my best friend for 30 years. Godmother to my oldest child. I hope we have 30 more years of the fun that we've had. Thank you. To my family, I can never thank them enough. Now that I've been a parent for 19 years, I can't imagine what it's been like to send their daughter across the Atlantic to another country hoping for the best. They did everything they could so I could have new and different opportunities. I would never be where I am today and who I am today without them. They taught me so much, love me so much, and I miss them so much. You can see how my husband and my two sons love me by their lack of presence here. Sacrifice is part of success in sports, and our family certainly lives the sporting life. For better and worse, tennis is part of my boys' life, and they travel the world chasing their dreams. My husband is a swim coach, who coincidentally, John Hart gave his first coaching job. Thank you, John. He's still the coach at Bucknell, and he is currently swimming against BC. My boys, one is a Tar Heel. I can't believe I let him go there, but that's what he's doing and playing there. And I love them dearly, even if they couldn't be here tonight. We were given a time limit. I've spoken enough. I know that probably more people should be thanking, but I just wanted to let you know what a special place Richmond has been for me. And I'm honored to be inducted into Richmond Athletics Hall of Fame. Thank you.
I would say we had an ace on the first serve of tonight's match from Lesia. All right, and that's just the beginning of the tennis theme tonight, obviously, as you're very much aware, but I'm going to hit pause on the court for a moment, and we're going to dive into the pool, take another look at the video screens for our second University of Richmond Athletics Hall of Fame inductee of the class of 2025.
A local product from Douglas Freeman High School, Brent Holston traveled a short distance to the University of Richmond, embarking on a long journey to become one of the most dominant and decorated Spider men's swimmers in program history. As a senior captain, he accomplished a personal triple crown at the CAA Championship, winning the 50, 100, and 200-yard freestyle events while shattering 2 school records. Brent completed his collegiate career by qualifying for the Eastern College Athletic Conference meet, where he placed 3rd in the 50 freestyle and 2nd in the 100 freestyle. He also swam the 100 butterfly, where his time broke the UR school record. A 4-year letter winner, Brent captured 5 conference titles, set 6 program records, and was named Spider Club Male Athlete of the Year. He served as volunteer assistant coach for the Spider women's program for 4 seasons, winning 4 conference championships. Representing men's swimming, Hall of Fame inductee Brent Holston.
Thank you. It's, as Lisa noted, we're kind of given a time limit, and you're putting a swimmer on the clock. I spent my entire life chasing the clock, so it's kind of amusing. This is how I'm being inducted, being on the clock. So I've been asking myself, how does a non-scholarship athlete who never earned a varsity letter in high school end up here? How do I, a swimmer, translate into words that can connect with everyone here? So if you never swum competitively, it's hard to understand what us swimmers talk about. Imagine me standing up here for 8 minutes saying we're going to go do a 100 IM aerobic threshold set at race pace. Round 1 will be 175, 25 fly, 50 backstroke. You guys, your eyes would glaze over. You think I was crazy, so I'm not going to do that. So instead, with the help of my wife, I'm going to tell you the story how the Spiders, how swimming, a sport I didn't even start until I was a sophomore in high school, became part of who I am. I'm here because of my parents. In 1971, they produced the most handsome and talented baby the MCV maternity ward had ever seen. I'm here. I was also the biggest. I'm here because I was the middle of 2 brothers. I had an older brother, strong, precise, kind of like Jason Bourne. You know, I have a younger brother who's strong and cunning, kind of like James Bond. I'm more the Captain Kirk, Indiana Jones, not strong enough to fight my way out, no obvious plan to succeed, but coming out the other side victorious. My father was a spider, so I grew up a spider. My mom went to William & Mary, so she loved the fact that y'all were beating up on William & Mary. But she always wore red and blue. We were season ticket holders for football, for basketball. At one football game when I was 10 years old, I had a swollen thumb. It was throbbing. I had to convince my father that we needed to leave and go get x-rays, only to find out my thumb was broken. That's true dedication as a 10-year-old to go to the game knowing you're injured. If I was a hockey player, I would have made it through the game and then gone to the hospital. Football games are great, but Spider basketball was huge. My mom was just recognized for being a season ticket holder for 50 years. I was a ball boy for the 86 and 87 teams. For those who know, that's when Johnny Newman, Greg Beckwith, John Davis were playing against David Robinson from Navy. I sat underneath the basket for all those battles. That's how important the Spiders were to us. Off campus at that time, I was playing soccer. I really thought I'd be playing at UCLA or Indiana. But after my 1987 soccer season, as a freshman in high school, I walked up to my parents and said, I want to quit. I want to start swimming. I was 15, a sophomore, thin as a rail, switching from soccer, a sport that's all legs, to swimming, a sport that's mostly upper body. Who does that? But that decision changed everything. In those days, swimming was endless laps, like most people look at. No real specialization. 10 practices a week. I usually made 6. Without realizing it, I was already a sprinter. I hadn't figured it out yet, though. But by beginning of my senior year, some schools started calling. Warren from University of Richmond, East Carolina, Denison. But I wasn't quite there yet. My coach actually sat me down and he's like, you have to go to the next level. You need to become more dedicated at practice. You need to grow up. You're a 17-year-old boy. Grow up. Come to weight practice more often. Start getting a little stronger. And that conversation kind of ensured my path to the University of Richmond. So, as Bob said, I left Dougie Freeman right across the road. I'm the only Holston to ever go to Freeman to never get a varsity letter. My father went to Freeman. My 2 brothers went to Freeman. I had 2 nephews go to Freeman, a niece. My son got a varsity letter at Freeman. My daughter's about to get her varsity letter in a couple weeks. My youngest son, I'm convinced will get a varsity letter, but I'm standing here. So when I came to campus, it was time to become a swimmer. I learned what it meant to be a teammate, a lane mate, but some of my fondest memories aren't even races. They're sitting in the dining hall after practice. We ate something called turkey tetrazzini. I've never seen it on any other menu anywhere in the world. It was noodles, chopped up turkey, some kind of sauce, but we ate plates of those things. The swimmers, we had the plates piled in the middle. Y'all remember the little orange trays we had for those of you who went here, piling them all up in the middle. I remember on a Tuesday night, they told us there was a lunar eclipse. So Emily Reed and I got on the phone and called the answering machines. We didn't have cell phones back then. Called the answering machines of all the swimmers on the swim team. Come on out to my apartment. Let's watch this lunar eclipse. Cars would come up behind our apartment. Some of them I didn't even think had lights on. People would just fall out of their car, and we all sat there. Maybe 15 of us, not everyone. One swimmer showed up in her pajamas. She had been asleep for an hour, heard the message, but came out. Probably some of the biggest memory I miss was right after Christmas. We'd all get back on campus. We'd have one practice. Then we'd all climb on a bus. Rod would be our bus driver. The entire team on the bus. We'd catch up after Christmas. And then we'd all laugh, joke on the bus, find somewhere to fall asleep on a bus. And then we'd wake up the next morning in Florida, get off that bus, walk onto a pool deck, and start 8 to 9 days of training. in that glorious Florida sun. I think, John, what was it, your senior year? It was 40 degrees when we walked on the pool deck wearing Speedos, jumping in a pool, and the sun hadn't come up yet. Yeah. I learned from swimming that failure is a great teaching tool. 2 weeks before I went under 21 seconds in the 50 free, something a Richmond Spider had never done, only one person in conference history had ever done. I had the worst turn of my life, something I had done 1,000 times. But with 2 weeks ago before conferences, I was like, hey, it's better to have it now, refocus, visualize, let's get it right. And at conferences that first night, I nailed that turn. Probably the most perfect race I've ever had in my entire life. It's one of the few things I have a video. Like, I was swimming, we didn't have photograph or camera crews coming, but it's on video. And hearing my mother scream in the background, you know, having your perfect race, you know, was truly special. If I had more time and y'all understood swimming talk, I could tell you about the time I got kicked out of practice. That was a 15 hours I would never want to relive again. But since y'all don't understand swimmer talk, we'll have to talk about that some other time. Looking back, I had a few gifts. First of all, I could jump. I could jump out of the gym. Since we have a basketball team here, you'll understand I'm 6'3", but I could touch above the white square on the basketball, on the backboard. So that led to great starts, great turns, floppy hands that knock things off. I was good at visualizing. I would sit in the training room with a stopwatch and go through my races, every flip turn, the kick, strokes, when I was going to breathe. And I could stop the stopwatch with my eyes closed, and I could read out the splits that I was going to go later that day. There are times I'd go back and look at my notes from class from the day before, a day of a meet, and I would write in the margins what I was going to swim that day. And it was crazy looking back, seeing those are the exact times. That's probably why I had trouble in class, because I was writing my splits down instead of paying attention. Also, I love to compete. Anytime, anyone, anywhere, whether it was John Pace, the only training partner of the two swimmers who are in the U of R Hall of Fame. I went head-to-head with him every single day, and he's a distance swimmer, and I'm a sprinter, and that's an awful situation to be put into. I trained with the backstrokers. I was telling a story to Coach Hammer earlier. I remember telling a freshman flyer that I'd swim the 100 fly once and I'd break the school record. And I did. I remember Roger, one day we were with Mike Niblock, and we were trying to see who could go the furthest underwater on one breath. Mike Niblock had severe asthma. He couldn't walk across campus without almost dying. He beat all of us. He made 3 laps. Roger, I think we made like 2.5. So for those 4 years, I became a swimmer. For a few years after college, I kept swimming. I actually tried to train for Olympic trials. Missed it by 8/100ths of a second. That's the length of a ketchup bottle. So every time I see a ketchup bottle, I want to cry. I came back to campus to help Richmond win 4 Atlantic 10 titles as a volunteer coach. And thank goodness I'm getting in today, because now all those Americans who swam for Richmond can follow me. Because if I didn't get in now and they got in, then I'd never get in. And later, after turning 50, I kept swimming. I swam at Masters Nationals. I've won 7 national titles, earned All-American status. This sport hasn't left me. My kids swim. My son is now swimming at the University of Lynchburg. My youngest son swims. My daughter, who's a volleyball player, still gets in and swims summer league in the summers. This sport is just with me. And every year I get back on the deck with Coach Matt Barony, and we just talk strategy, go through all the cool stuff about the Atlantic 10. But I do know I'm here because of 5 conference titles, and I know I'm going over the 8 minutes, but I've been on the clock my entire life. One of those 5 conference titles was a relay. I was a freshman, there was 2 seniors and a junior, and to be a freshman racing with those individuals is the most emotional accomplishment of my life, to share that with them. And beating Sergio Lopez, who was an Olympian for Spain, was on Americans relay, and we beat them. All 4 of us came together and did our best times that race to beat those guys. The 5 titles, well, let's think about it. I had 2,000 official hours of training across 4 years. That amounts to about 120,000 laps. That's 3 million yards, just over 1,700 miles. Also, I could race for 3 minutes and 56 seconds. just 20 laps total is what got me here. I was informed I had this 5 minutes, but it only took me 4 minutes to get here. Swimming has meant everything to me. It's who I am. To be recognized by Richmond for what I gave, to now be called a Hall of Famer means the world. I've always been a Spider. At Richmond, I truly became a swimmer, and tonight, thanks to all of you, I'm a Spider swimmer forever in the Hall of Fame. And before we finish, let's open up to some Q&A. There are some approved list of questions taped to everyone's chair. I'm just kidding. Congratulations, Buzz, Lisa, Bridget, Shannon, the team of distinction. We're Spiders forever. Thank you.
Give you a gold medal there, Brent. Congratulations. You get a gold medal for that one. And if we had known, we would have served turkey tetrazzini at your table tonight, but never again, but we didn't know. So gold medal highlighted in red and blue for the Spiders. All right, let's go back to the court. And as you have already heard, we can't have Lesia without Bridget, so we can't have Bridget without Lesia. Back to the screens. Take a look at our next inductee.
From conference and university honors to national rankings, Bridget Merrick helped define Richmond women's tennis during one of the program's most successful eras. Her singles career included 51 wins. She was named first team All-CAA doubles and shared Richmond's Senior Female Athlete of the Year award with doubles partner Lesia Bialik-Schinnerer. They were ranked as high as 9th nationally. During their senior year, they compiled a 17-2 record in the fall, highlighted by winning the Rolex East Regional Championship with a stunning victory over the nation's 13th ranked doubles team from William & Mary. They advanced to the quarterfinals of the Rolex National Indoor Tennis Championship. In the spring, they were 15-2, including a 13-match winning streak. Bridget and Lesia were one of the top 32 duos in the country and qualified for the NCAA Doubles National Championship. They won 66 career doubles matches. From women's tennis, Hall of Famer Bridget Merrick.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, President Halleck, Director of Athletics John Hart, for making this Hall of Fame induction so special and for your continued dedication to the university. It's an incredible honor to be here tonight to be inducted into the Richmond Hall of Fame alongside so many talented and accomplished athletes who have shown unwavering dedication to their sports, and especially to share this with Lesia and with Mark this evening. Tennis has always been more than just a sport to me. It has truly shaped every aspect of my life. None of this would have been possible without my parents, whose support, sacrifices, and love for the game allowed me to pursue my goals. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for everything. They're sitting right here tonight. And thank you to my brother, Peter, and my nephew, Padraig, for being here as well this evening. It's so special to have you all here. Tennis has taught me so much: how to compete while staying grounded, how to stay focused and dedicated while remembering what truly matters, how to embrace feedback and failure, and how to never give up, because in tennis, there is no shot clock, no time is running out. I'm so glad I'm not a swimmer. It has also helped me stay healthy, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Tennis is one of the rare sports you can play from age 4 to 94 and can really enjoy it at any level. Every time I personally step on the court, I feel that there's something new to learn or to take away, no matter how big or small. But perhaps most meaningfully, tennis is the reason I have my family today. The sport introduced me to my wife, Laura, who played tennis at William & Mary, A lot of tribesters in here tonight. And together we have built this beautiful and amazing life, and we have now 2 beautiful boys, Declan and Jason, who are truly the loves of our lives, and I'm so glad that they are here tonight as well. Tennis has also taught me the importance of independence and confidence. It's a very lonely sport. You're out there all by yourself, and it forces you to dig deep when it truly counts. That resilience has shaped how I approach life and the decisions I make every single day. The University of Richmond gave me so many opportunities that I will forever be grateful for. I came here as a student athlete for 4 years on a 4-year athletic scholarship, and I graduated with no student debt. That's an absolutely incredible gift and a burden I did not have to carry. I did not want to have to pay loads of money when I graduated. And I feel so incredibly fortunate for the university to provide me that opportunity. Not only did Richmond provide a top-tier education, it gave me truly the best 4 years of my life. I spent them with Coach Mark and a team that was dedicated, extremely wild, fun. Let's see here, where am I? And most importantly, meaningful. The friendships we built during that time will last a lifetime. I truly cannot stress that enough. To my coaches, Tom, Julie, and Mark, thank you for everything you've done for me on and off the court. Tom, every time I hear the word discipline, I think of you. I remember as a freshman, you worked very hard to instill in me and our team the importance of the word discipline, structure, hard work, and self-control. I probably didn't fully understand it then, but I absolutely do now. I use those words and lessons when coaching my students each day, so thank you for that. Julie, you've taught me so much, but one moment really stands out. Thank you for always bringing intensity to the court and for teaching me how to close out a match. One spring during my sophomore year, I was up to my usual 3rd set routine. Win the first, get smoked in the second, slowly claw my way back into the 3rd, and sometimes win. After I won the first set, you walked up to me slowly, looked me right in the eye, and simply asked, "How many sets does it take to win a match?" I answered, obviously, 2. You looked at me intensely and just said, "Thank you." Turned and slowly walked away. And I'm pretty sure I won that match in 2 sets. I would not want to deal with you if it went 3 sets or if I lost. But thank you so much, Julie, for helping me truly learn how to stay focused and finish strong. I hope that I didn't drive you too crazy, nor did our team. And to our beloved Coach Mark, thank you as well. You made tennis fun, but you also made sure we knew it was a priority. You had a gift for recruiting players who fit together seamlessly. You listened, supported, and pushed us when we needed it most. You made me love the game even more and showed me that coaching could truly be a fulfilling and meaningful career. And I coach full-time currently. You're very deeply missed by all of us. And to my incredible teammates, Lesia, Croker, or Amy, Lindsay, Wes, Suzanne, Catherine, Janelle, Mary Beth, and Camille, many of whom are here tonight. We are all so different, yet we are the best of friends. And we had so much fun during our time at Richmond. From countless van rides to practices, offense-defense drills, and spring breaks, we've shared so many unforgettable memories, and I'm so grateful we continue to make more. And I can't wait to see what happens the rest of this weekend. And Lesia, honestly, you are the craziest person I've ever met. I mean that in an extremely loving way. But you are also my best friend, the best doubles partner anyone could ask for, and my family.
Knowing you for the past 31 years has been nothing short of an adventure. Even today was an adventure. Our friendship is one that I will always cherish. We still nearly talk every single day, and we act like we're 21 sometimes. You are the most fun, honest, loyal, and dependable friend I could have ever hoped for, and you're definitely never getting rid of me. I love you so much. Once again, this is such an honor to be here tonight. Congratulations to all the other inductees. Your recognition is so well deserved. And for the record, I don't know if I'm mistaken, but Julie, does your license plate, is it now UR10S? Or is it not that anymore? Did you retire that? Okay. At least it went from William & Mary Tennis to UR Tennis for a time. So anyway, go Spiders. Thank you.
Congratulations, Bridget, and again, Lesia and Bridget. Kudos to our committee to put them both in at the same time today. Can't have one without the other. I think we've seen that, and we've seen why they won so many matches together, the chemistry and camaraderie that they have. For our next inductee, I think it would be easy for me to say we are going to sing his praises. If you don't quite understand that, you will as you take a look at our next video, and we go from the court and the pool onto the gridiron, onto the football field. Take a look at the video screens again for our next UR Athletics Hall of Fame inductee.
An impressive and inspiring journey that started as a walk-on and ended as a scholarship captain, Lawson Buzz Monsinger helped lead Spider football to one of the program's all-time great triumphs. As a defensive end, he became a 3-year starter and 2-time All-Southern Conference standout. In Richmond's Tangerine Bowl victory over previously unbeaten Ohio, Buzz contributed a key third-down quarterback sack. During his 3 seasons, the Spiders were 16-3 in SoCon contests, including 6-0 against rivals VMI and William & Mary. After graduating, Buzz turned to his other love, music, playing the saxophone with local bands. A tragic accident in 2006 left Buzz paralyzed, but through a long and difficult rehabilitation, he again showed his never-give-up attitude, continuing his music career and decades-long support of Spider football. Richmond Athletics Hall of Fame inductee, Lawson Buzz Monsinger.
You got me? Thanks. Good evening, everyone. There are 4 words that I'd like to start with tonight. Divine intervention and destiny fulfilled. I'm a recovering Episcopalian, so I'm not very religious because my mother made me, my brother and sister go to church every Sunday. And it just did not necessarily resonate with me. I was more into the spiritual nature side of life that taught me more about what was real and not real. That's really the only way that I can explain most of what has happened to me my whole life. Tonight being no exception. It's one of those moments that feels almost surreal, supernatural, a full circle blessing I never thought could have imagined for myself. First and foremost, I want to thank God the Creator, for giving me this life and for the many blessings that have come with it. I know that none of this would be possible without His divine guidance. To be here in front of you, being inducted into the University of Richmond Hall of Fame, is something that amazes me. It doesn't give me a big head. It actually humbles me in a way. And it fills me with immense gratitude. I consider this not just an honor, but a reminder of the power of perseverance, faith, and community, which means I wanted to make the city of Richmond proud. I want to thank everyone, my family, friends, teammates. There's only one, Walker. He's the only teammate here that I play football with. The rest are either here or not here for whatever reason. And it certainly saddens me that not more of my teammates are here to enjoy this honor with me. When I look at this crowd, I'm even more humbled. Your presence here means the world to me. There are several people that I'd like to thank. To start back at the beginning, my dear friend Bruce Olson, one of my best friends since the 5th grade. Thank you, Bruce. You encouraged me to try out for football after I was a track man. He and I pole vaulted every afternoon after school. They gave us a pole and said there's a pit over there that you're going to fall into. Sawdust, by the way. And a metal pole called a Swedish steel pole. And we ran as fast as we could and planted the pole and jumped over a bar every afternoon with no training from anybody whatsoever. And then I triple jumped and threw the disc. He was an incredible basketball player on a winning Tucker team for 4 years. But suddenly he's there with me in track practice. And we did that day in and day out. And one day he goes, "Hey, Buzz, you got to come out for football." He had already gone and played a year. He said, "You have to come out. Friday night lights. I mean, cheerleaders, a marching band, the student body. It is amazing. You would just, love it." Well, little did I know, and he didn't tell me, that there was also a summer practice every year on a dirt field full of rocks, crabbing backwards up a slope. Crabbing means you're on all fours and you're crabbing backwards. You're tackling drills on a board, tackling running backs and tight ends and whatnot. And I'm going, "Thanks a lot, Bruce. I appreciate this." No water, salt tablets, used equipment. And after going through all that, my junior year, I never got in a game that whole year. The coaches overlooked putting me in, even if we were ahead. But my senior year, I started both ways and had a pretty decent senior year, enough that William and Mary started sending me letters. I went down to William and Mary and visited the campus twice. It was Lou Holtz or Marv Levy was the coach. I can't remember which. And I went to see their facilities. I was so impressed with William and Mary. And then they invited me back down with some recruits, and some seniors took us out to some of the local bars. And I really enjoyed that a lot. So I'm going, William and Mary. That's where I'm going to go. So coming down to within a few weeks of making a commitment, they wanted me to go to Fork Union for a year to bring my college boards up, because my college boards were weak. And I said, I'm not going to William, I'm not going to Fork Union. I love William and Mary. I don't know what to do. Well, lo and behold, my dad spoke up and said, I want to take you over to Coach Merrick, Ed Merrick, at the University of Richmond. Poor Coach Merrick, a dear friend of mine, has undergone 2 seasons of 0-10, which means it was the longest major college losing streak in America. 20 game losing streak. So Coach Merrick was packing up his books and his papers, and my dad took me probably to one of the old barracks on campus and introduced me to Ed Merrick. Coach Merrick went, listen, do yourself a favor, come to Richmond. Richmond just hired this great coach from Mississippi, Coach Jones, and he's hired a bunch of top-notch assistants, and they have recruited the best, the blue chip, high school football players from all over the country to come here. And you stand a good chance because they don't have any favorites. So, you know, I can get you admitted into the school, but I can't give you a scholarship. You're going to have to earn it. So guess what? I earned it. And what, 2-a-days in Richmond in August was brutal. And we had old equipment. We had to wear these aprons on top of our thick cotton jerseys. These aprons were supposed to protect us from the varsity running into us because we were their dummies. And the freshmen could not play varsity. So we played the 5 freshman teams from the Southern Conference. First one being, I'll never forget it, we went down to East Carolina at night, and they ran the single wing. And the single wing, you have no idea which back is going to get the ball. It's like we were just all totally fish out of water, but we beat them somehow, which broke the curse of Richmond football. And we beat all the freshman teams that year. So the next year, I started both ways. Coach Jones called me to his office and said, you know, I'm going to give you a full scholarship. So from there, I became a starter, first team all conference my sophomore and junior year. Went on to become the captain of the football team by closed ballot vote. And I think from there, Gil Bryant from the Dallas Cowboys, who was the director of player personnel who built the Cowboys team from 1960 when the franchise was bought, he came to 2 practices. And the coaches, after the sprints and the team went up to shower, Coach Jones went, Buzz, I want to introduce you to Gil Brandt from the Cowboys. I went, hey, because he made me run the 40. I had to stand and broad jump. I had to show him my standing height that I could jump. He came twice to 2 different practices, but I never really thought that that was ever going to happen. It was the last thing on my mind. I was a musician first at age 14. I got my first band called the Escorts. And that was really my first love, was the saxophone, tenor saxophone. It was bigger than I was. So I got into sports thanks to Bruce once again. And so I, after becoming the co-captain of the team, we won a Southern Conference championship, and at that time, we were to play the Mid-America Conference Bobcats of Ohio University. They were 15th in the nation. They had a rollout quarterback, Cleve Bryant. They had an All-American receiver. They had a 250-pound fullback and a running back who was also a track man, a hurdler. We were 21-point underdogs in Orlando, Florida at night on a nationally televised game. It was the first one, Tangerine Bowl, ever televised. It was one of the oldest bowl games, by the way. So 10 minutes before kickoff, Coach Jones pulled me aside and said, Buzz, by the way, you're kicking off. And I never kicked off in my life. He said, Eddie Barnes, who normally kicked off, had hurt himself in warm-ups, so you're kicking off. Now, do you know what kind of pressure? If I shanked the ball, no matter where the ball went out, that's where the other team gets the ball. We were kicking off at that time from the 25. Now they kick off from the 30 to try to keep injuries down so there's no returns. But back then, kicking off from the 25, I didn't have time to figure out even how to put the ball on the tee. I didn't have time to mark off steps to get to the ball at the right time. I didn't know anything. And here we go. Whistle blows. I run up, boom, inside the 10. Good hang time. We stopped him on about the 25. This went on back and forth, back and forth. And right before the half, I caused a fumble. Jim Alters, defensive back, picked the ball up, ran it down to the 5. We scored, went into halftime ahead, 26-20, something like that. So we come back out, guess who's kicking off again? Me. Okay, here we go. Pow. Kicking off inside the 10. We stop him. Now, Walker and Buster had the night of that nobody could even imagine they would gain that many yards. I think Walker had 250 yards receiving. Buster was something like 24 to 40, I don't know what ridiculous. Jim Livesey punted for us, like you read about. He was just the most graceful player. He was like a gazelle. He scored and received so many incredible touchdown passes as well, and never got the credit probably that Walker got. But he, I'm gonna share this award with Jim Livesey, who just passed away, who was a dear friend of mine. And I'm so sorry for him to pass the way he did, because he just had some pain in his chest one day, and what I understand, he went home and died of a massive heart attack. We just put him to rest not too long ago. So I'm sharing this with Jim. So after that, the signing agent came to my house that I was sharing with my wife at that time with, and that I want to get ready to thank. I wanted to thank, and I hope that's on the next page. The next page where I really want to thank people. I'm sorry if I'm getting long-winded, but I tried to cut this down. I want to thank Beverly Monsinger Bernard, who's sitting right here, for giving me a beautiful daughter. This is my senior year at Richmond. She carried my beautiful daughter, Shannon, who's there, who has given me 2 amazing grandchildren. They're my greatest gift, Shannon and Beverly, and my grandchildren. They've supported me through every season of my life, and your love and encouragement mean more to me than words can even ever express. And I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee, whoever finally, after 3 decades, went ahead and voted me in. I don't know why, but they did. Maybe they felt sorry for me. I don't know. I'm getting ready. I really don't feel deserving, but maybe I made an impression on some people, and I hope I did. I thank you for recognizing my contribution to my friends and family in Richmond, and for granting me this honor. To my brothers in arms, Rodney Elam, Barney Smith, Pat and Ray Kelly, Scooter Burgess, Larry LeClaire, my dear friends and hero tonight, Dave Chapman, who I played with. He was such an inspiration to me. He came in as a sophomore and led the charge when we all had to sleep in the barracks after practice. That's all we had were old springs, old mattresses from the ROTC days, no air conditioning. And after practice, we all went back to the barracks between 2 days, and Dave kept everybody laughing. And, we just had a great time. And so Dave's been with me since football, 1966 or so to today. That's a long time too. Thank you, David. And Kenny Barnhill has been with me. He's a Tucker boy who lettered and was all district in football and baseball. And to this day, make sure I get to every event, every football game. He's been my right-hand man, or left-hand man in this case. I used to have right and left, but I'm down to one left. And I'm a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest at this point, but it's still fun. I'm having a good time. Thanks. So, I gave all these guys some credit because they got me here, because they pushed, I think, to have me finally get through and get to the committee. And they maybe threatened no, they didn't threaten me. So, I like to thank once again the Creator who has given me gifts and opportunities every day. But we have to act. The Creator will put us in places our whole lives that we can either take hold of that opportunity and give it our all and achieve great things, or maybe not pay attention and move on to another day and another idea. But I say that mediocrity is self-inflicted and greatness is self-bestowed. So it's up to all of us to either remain mediocre or great. It's up to you to decide what you want. And I say perseverance and is a huge thing. That to me is the purpose of life. That is destiny fulfilled. And so from the bottom of my heart, thank you, committee, thank you, President, thank you, Athletic Director, thank you, Catherine. This is amazing. We get together and the dinner and the cocktail, all of it. I don't know how she did it, but she sure did pull it off, and I thank her so much. So, in ending this long, rambling acceptance, I say good night to you all, and amen. Thank you. Thank you. Good.
Take care.
I would say, Buzz, you are an inspiration to all of us. Yeah. And again, congratulations, Buzz, and to the entire family on a well-deserved honor. Before we honor and celebrate the induction of Mark Wessling, I would like to take a moment to mention tomorrow morning, 10:30 at the West Hampton Tennis Courts here on campus, there will be an unveiling of a special plaque in Mark's memory, honoring his legacy with University of Richmond Spider Tennis. Everyone is invited to attend that event. Again, 10:30 tomorrow morning here on campus at the West Hampton Tennis Courts. And in 2 weeks, Saturday, November 1st at 2 o'clock, the Mark Wessling Memorial Tennis Tournament will be held. It'll help raise money for the new Mark Wessling Pavilion at the Bonaire tennis courts. And again, all are welcome to attend as either spectators or participants, if you would like. And with that as a backdrop, our final individual inductee to the class of 2025. Please take a look.
One of the most decorated coaches in Richmond athletics history, Mark Wessling led the Spider women's tennis program to unprecedented success for more than 3 decades of what he described as a very brief 33 years. Coach Wessling guided the program to 9 conference championships and 11 NCAA tournament appearances. The 8-time Conference Coach of the Year recorded 379 Richmond victories, leading the Spiders to a first or second place conference finish 17 times. A highly respected and beloved figure in the tennis community, Coach Wessling announced his retirement in June 2022, but remained close to the program as a volunteer assistant for 2 seasons until his untimely passing in July 2024. Accepting the Hall of Fame honor for women's tennis head coach Mark Wessling is his wife, Shannon Rains.
And I have a double. My daughter, Paige Westlick, is also going to present with me tonight. So can you, oh, are we good? There we go. All right. So thank you. Obviously I need her. So I, first of all, just want to offer just incredible gratitude for all of you coming tonight, for my friends, former players, former coaches, current coaches, and everybody else that came so far and such a long distance and busy schedule. So I really just appreciate everyone being here and honoring Mark. I'm really, and my family is really touched by that. A special thanks to Emily Dunbar for nominating Mark for the Hall of Fame. Appreciate that. And the story is that she tried many times while Mark was living and he said no. So when he died, she asked me, our kid and my kids, and we were like, yep, definitely. So, and as I said at Mark's celebration of life, he would have hated this. So, but being honored tonight alongside Bridget and Lesia might have made it just a little bit more tolerable for him. So Mark being inducted to the University of Hall of Fame is no accident. We've all heard the long list of his accomplishments, the records, the wins, the championships, and of course they are all incredible. But tonight I want to talk about what was behind those accomplishments, and that wasn't me. What people didn't see was Mark's quiet tenacity, his relentless consistency, and his commitment to every player and each team. Take Lesia, for example. I actually met her for the first time in my hospital room the day after our son Isaac was born. She was here on an official visit, and despite the whole newborn child thing, Mark made time to meet with her and, of course, brought her to the hospital to meet me and his newborn son. We've been friends ever since. Mark rarely missed a practice and never missed a match. And even when he complained of those pre-dawn team practice runs, he still showed up. Those who know Mark well know getting up at that hour was no small accomplishment. Another reason this Hall of Fame honor isn't an accident. Mark was always learning. He wasn't the type to brag about his knowledge, well, except for finishing the NCAA compliance test first and with the best score every year. But he was constantly researching new coaching techniques, new motivation strategies, and new ways to build his team culture. For every recruit, he thought not just about their tennis, but also their personality, their energy, and how they'd mesh with the team vibe. I witnessed that recently when I traveled with some of his former players for B. Grasso's 40th birthday, along with Ashley Vosters, who's here tonight. They were reflecting on their 20 years of friendship and couldn't believe their luck. It wasn't just luck, but also Mark's quiet superpower, his ability to know people. He knew how to create and nurture not only teamwork, but teams that worked. Teams that worked so well they maintained their friendships with Mark with each other, and even for all these years with me. People often said they'd wish they'd work less and live more. That's why this honor is no accident, because Mark lived his work. He often said he would not have retired if not for his illness. He continued to volunteer as assistant coach until 1 month before his death, despite the effort it took. He was one of the lucky ones who truly loved what he did, and it showed. For over 3 decades, the University of Richmond was the fortunate recipient of that love, that commitment, and that joy. So while, yes, Mark probably would have hated being in the spotlight tonight, I know he'd be quietly proud and maybe a little humbled to be recognized among the people he loved most. Thank you all so much. Thought I could do it, and I didn't. Sorry.
So I will be very brief because that's a tough act to follow. But I think that to honor my dad, if he were here tonight, he probably would have honored my mom. So I would like to take this time to honor my mom. Behind every single season, there was always a night of apple crisp provided by this wonderful woman. I know all of you had that apple crisp, and it's delicious. There was a serving of chicken pot pie for every single team. Anytime my dad traveled, my mom stayed back and she held down the fort for my brother and I. He traveled a lot for tennis, and it's a good thing because he won a lot. And whenever he won, we were there. My mom was there. Whenever he lost, which wasn't a lot, my mom was also there. Through everything, my mom was really his rock. And I think, from what I've seen, is it takes a great partner to have a great career. And in my dad's case, he chose an incredible partner, and so he had an incredible career. And I'd like to cheers to my dad and that wonderful career that he had. He really had this immaculate ability, as my mom talked about, in choosing a winning team on the court. But it's very clear that he also had that immaculate ability in choosing a winning team in his life, too. So, cheers to my dad, and thanks, everybody, for being here. Love you. Love you.
Mark's legacy will live on for all of us. I can tell you that for many, many years to come, for what he did for us here at the University of Richmond, not just for tennis, but for the athletic department and the Spider community. Our last inductee is our team of distinction, which is not something that we do every year. So that makes it even more special, perhaps. And in this case, I think the committee felt that it was very important to tie together 2 eras of Spider women's basketball. The one that we are now currently enjoying, and the great success that this year's and last year's and the year before's team had, and the teams that these ladies and Coach Boyle represent as well. And it's been a 20-year anniversary for them here in 2025. And I can tell you, as we researched to try and find pictures to document the success of this team, all we seemed to be able to find was pictures of them out and about having fun somewhere. Thank you, Molly. We have pictures of them in hotel lobbies and airports and restaurants, and very few on the court. We couldn't find too many of them on the court. So they had a great time 20 years ago, and yes, they did win a lot of games. And in watching them here tonight, 20 years later, they're still having a blast. They are having a great time, and I think you're about to see why as you take a look at the video screens and we introduce to you our 2025 Team of Distinction, our 2005 women's basketball team.
It was a defining moment for Richmond women's basketball. The 2004-05 team secured the Spiders' first ever NCAA tournament at-large berth, earned by virtue of a second consecutive 23-win campaign. Coach Joanne Boyle's squad opened the season 9-0 and 14-1 with wins over state and ACC rival Virginia and SEC foe Florida. In mid-January, the Spiders earned the program's first ever national ranking at number 25 in the USA Today ESPN Coaches Bowl. The team featured 4 players who would become 1,000-point scorers: senior captain Kate Flavin, junior captain Sayona Chapman, sophomore Christina Campion, and freshman Joanna McKnight. The lofty accomplishments of this team are achievements that would stand alone for the next 2 decades of Spider women's basketball. The University of Richmond Athletics Hall of Fame Team of Distinction 2004-05 Women's Basketball.
And here to speak on behalf of that team is their head coach. We welcome her back to campus, Coach Joanne Boyle. Joanne?
Good evening, everyone. It's just been a great night, and I'm just really excited to be here. I want to say congratulations to all the other inductees here tonight, whose dedication, talent, and hard work have earned them a place in the Hall of Fame. It's an honor to stand alongside of you and celebrate all of our accomplishments here together. First, thank you for this incredible honor in celebrating such a special group of women who were part of this 2004-2005 Richmond women's basketball team. I'd like to thank President Halleck and Athletic Director John Hart for their dedication to all student athletes and their commitment to ensuring the U of R college experience is transformative and deeply meaningful. I'd also like to thank Mark Sandy and Jim Miller, who hired me, for giving me the gift of coaching these incredible women, which changed the trajectory of my life. To my former assistant coaches, Lindsay Gottlieb, Ginny Doyle, and Kim Harrison, for lifting me up each and every day and for their unwavering support and dedication to this program. As many of you know, we lost Ginny, but she lives on in the spirit of U of R athletics. She was the epitome of what it was and is to be compassionate and committed to her purpose, which was her family, who is here tonight, friends, her profession, and in particular, this program. Ginny, fondly remembered as Deadeye Doyle, is Richmond women's basketball yesterday, today, and forever. I would also like to thank Molly McClure for your incredible gift of capturing so many memories through your amazing photos. They exist everywhere. I don't know why they're not here tonight. To Amy Dameron for your organization of our Everyday Madness, Lynn Busby for being the best public relations and media manager, and for Allison Buchanan for keeping our athletes as healthy as possible, even if they were duct taped by the end of the year. And to our incredible, unforgettable practice players who pushed us and made it fun every day. And to Andrew, who is here tonight, who made out better than all of them as he married one of our former players, Kate Flavin. Standing here tonight, I am filled with a mix of pride, gratitude, and nostalgia that's hard to put into words. To see this team honored in the Hall of Fame is more than a recognition of a season. It's a celebration of a group of women who chose to believe in something bigger than themselves. When this team came together, we didn't just set goals based on wins, rankings, or titles. We built everything on trust, resilience, and the belief that our strength would always come from how we showed up for each other every day. What made this team special wasn't just talent, it was their heart. This team embodied the characteristics of what makes great teams. They trusted the process and each other. They had a shared purpose. They were accountable, resilient, and they celebrated and supported each other. Now, this team worked hard, but don't get it twisted. They also had their fair share of fun, as Bob mentioned, as regular college students. And I would claim Team Gill on that one. I remember the energy of our locker room before games. There was a quiet confidence, a joy, and a belief that whatever awaited us on the court, we would face it side by side. And when adversity came, and it did, this group answered, not with fear, but with fight. This was on full display when Kate Flavin, our leading scoring rebounder that year, went down with an ACL injury against Dayton in our last regular season game on the road. Our staff meetings that week were about preparation and a lot of number crunching after entering the top 25 poll for the first time in school history. Knowing that we had to win against Dayton in order to secure our first ever at-large NCAA bid, no pressure. But just as this team had fought alongside each other all year, we knew this group of warriors was not going to go down without a fight. We were down 8, yes 8, at Dayton with 56 seconds left in overtime. And the fight and resiliency of this group showed up and showed out. Down 8, Sayona Chapman hits a 3. We full court press to get a 5-second violation. We inbound underneath our basket where Mirna Mazic scores, gets fouled, makes her free throw. After Dayton shoots free throws on our quick foul, Sayona gets the inbounds pass, drives the length of the floor, finishes, gets fouled. She makes her free throw for another 3-point play. We are now down 1 with 23 seconds left. Dayton has possession, but Araceli Gill's tenacious defense forces a turnover, and as she drives to the basket, she gets fouled. 7 seconds left in the game. Gill confidently steps up, sinks both free throws, and we leave there 78-77. And we walk out of UD Arena knowing that we probably just secured our first ever NCAA at-large bid. That, in a nutshell, is how this team responded and showed up for each other all year. The team played for each other, trusted the process, believed in the work, and were happy for other people's success, which can be rare in today's athletic world. And because of that, they left a legacy and a lifetime of friendships that have outlasted the season itself. Tonight is not about individual accolades. It's about a team that refused to let ego overshadow effort, a team that understood success is built on the unseen. Early morning track workouts, Kelly, not here today, and maybe a few extra for some, but teammates that ran alongside each other in those early mornings, not because they had to, but because each of them were committed to bringing everyone along with them. It was not the exception, but the standard for this team. To the women of this team, you made coaching feel like a gift. You allowed me and my staff to guide you, challenge you, and witness your growth. Not just as athletes, teammates, women of character, but also as leaders. And we had some of the best leaders on this team in my 25 years of coaching. You shaped me more than I shaped you, and I am forever grateful for your trust and your belief in what we are building here together. Years have passed, but the connection, the memories, and the stories keep us bonded in the small world of women's basketball. It is a bond rooted in a shared sacrifice and joy. We didn't just make history, we made memories that still live in each one of us. So tonight, as your coach, former coach, I don't just stand here proud, I stand here humbled by your dedication, your courage, your unity, and your relentless spirit. You earned this place in the Hall of Fame not because of what you achieved, not because of only what you achieved, but because of who you became in the process. Thank you for letting me be a part of that journey. Thank you for the laughter, the sweat, the tears, and the triumphs. And thank you for reminding everyone who watched you that greatness isn't just about where you end up, it's about how you get there and who you bring along with you. So congratulations to Gil, Kate, Say, Tanya, Joe, Camps, Dee, Amber, Kelly, Anya, Mirna, Natalie, and Sandy. You will always be a team for the record books, but more importantly, a team whose laughter, perseverance, and unshakable support for one another created bonds stronger than any trophy, and whose spirit and dedication left an indelible mark both on your coaches and this university. Thank you so much.
Not former coach, Joanne, coach. You will always be their coach. Once a Spider, always a Spider. And welcome back to all of you, and hope you enjoy your time back here on campus. All right, we began this evening by saluting and recognizing the members of the University of Richmond Hall of Fame who were already Hall of Fame members. Now I would like to give you the first opportunity as a group to collectively recognize the University of Richmond Athletics Hall of Fame, class of 2025. We hope you enjoyed the evening, and even more so, we hope you enjoy the rest of the weekend with each other. Again, the football game is at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Please wear red. The Hall of Fame class will be saluted at halftime of the football game tomorrow. Thank you for being with us tonight. Wear red tomorrow, and go Spiders. Good night, everyone.